Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the IVES number 820 F2C push latch. I have one removed from the packaging here. This piece of equipment hasn't been manufactured in many years. I really don't know how many, but 20 perhaps. And I know that this was available in an F2C, which is this is Zinc finish, and an F3. You could have gotten this in a brass finish as well. This has certainly was manufactured for several decades and is a very common piece of equipment that people encounter in medicine cabinets. People that call and need the 820 replacement, they have exactly that, a medicine cabinet that they need a replacement latch. Over the years, the finish on this Zinc is somewhat fatigued. And because there are no more of these, this is the one we're using for this video, is the bottom line. So some dimensional properties, we're going to go over the installation instructions, the template, etc. First, some dimensional properties. And this video is really to archive the information on this product. I don't expect this video will be of help to you in terms of, oh, I want to order some of those. Yeah, there probably will be none ever again, unless they can be found in some sort of online flea market. So overall height of the latch body, about 2 5/16. Overall width of the body, about an inch and a half. Thickness of the body, 5/16. And again, this video is really just for archival purposes. The latch is going to have a couple of features to it. It's going to have the plunger, and it's going to have the latch. Okay, the latch doesn't go in at all; it just goes up and down. The plunger goes in. This would have been installed on either hand of door. Okay, it's going to be the orientation of where the latch is not important. It can go up or down. So obviously, you're going to possibly need to install it this way or this way. The function of this push latch is that it is exactly that. We'd probably more commonly call it a touch latch, where the door is in the secured position. And then when you push on the door opens up. And then you secure the door, and you push on the door, and then the door opens up. And there's countless available touch latches in the world, push latches. IVES has their CL11 and their CL12, which once upon a time was the Glenn Johnson AA. We called it the AA small and the BB large. They had their AA and their BB. They were the same concept of touch latches. Similar footprint, similar format. Maybe not, well, the AA small was smaller than this. And they would operate on similar doors, a little bit more modern design. With those are available an auxiliary pusher. That's the CL14, where it's just a spring-loaded rod in case you need better control over the door. If you're using it on a heavier application, you'll find a pusher involved. And the pusher helps keep the door in a position where you must have a gap between the face of the stop or the frame and the touch latch, because you must be able to push it in to release. If you can't push it in far enough to release it, you've got a locked condition and it won't release at all. There are links below this video to those three products so that you can see what's being done moving forward in the world of touch latches, at least from IVES. Now, there's a link below this video to the installation instructions, to the template. The template is a technical drawing from IVES, and you'll notice the lower right-hand corner, the date, the draftsman, whose initials hopefully is RHC, and then you've got a December 10th of 1963 date on that drawing, number 609. And that's by no means one of the oldest templates from IVES that I can find. I've got them a lot older than that. So the point of the matter is you can see the dimensional properties. What's really crucial is when we look at that document, and the right-hand side it shows the door in what would be the open condition or the unlatched condition. You see 11/16. That's really not so important. They're just showing you what that dimension would look like when the door apparently makes contact between the strike and the face of the plunger. However, the incredibly important aspect is that 5/32 in the upper left-hand corner be maintained when you're in the closed position, because you require that dimension, 5/32, in order to be able to depress it further so that you can cause the strike to release. Okay? Just going to manipulate this here closely. So that dimension of 5/32 is utterly crucial. If it's not maintained, then you're not going to get the door opened. It's so important that they include a template with the hardware, and what I have here is a heavily corroded template. You know, there are none of these pieces left. I have a corroded strike. So that drawing is important. It'll give you all the dimensional properties. The strike is there. It's this piece, the top that has this U profile to it, does engage with the plunger. Then we have the link to the installation instructions, and then there's a color version of them that is uploaded there as well. That's the absolute same document. So this video is going to proceed as if you can purchase this item, which you very unlikely will be able to purchase this item because it simply won't be available. But the installation of this item was where you have the template, paper template right here, and a lot of people get in trouble because they don't. With the CL11, CL12, the template is, to some, it can be misleading. And this video isn't about those touch latches, but you have to absolutely literally interpret the template. And some people get in trouble because they don't install it literally per the template, and the door gets into the locked position. So step one, we've got to define flush, overlay, and lip doors. So this is used in cabinetry, this sort of touch latch or push latch. A definition needs to be understood. A flush door is when the door sits in the frame and it's basically flush with the outside casework. Think of a typical entry door. That's going to be flush. An overlay door, but you could also have that in cabinetry, but just less common. In cabinetry, an overlay door would be very typical, where the door runs long and over the face of the structure. And a lipped door, which is the same as an overlay application, except that you have a mortise in the face of the door. The difference between all three of them, as you study those cross-sections, is where exactly in relationship to the outside of the frame this body is installed laterally. Okay? Luckily, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to think about that, except you have to think about, am I doing a flush installation or am I doing inset or lipped? Because what they're telling you to do is, for a flush door, you're going to trim this template to that solid line. The solid line, not the dashed line. Just our solid line that's there. Okay? And you're going to, when the door is in the closed position, you're going to place the solid line against the face of the door. Okay? So, for flush doors, trim template to solid line indicated by arrow on template. Arrow on template. For overlay or lip type doors, trim template to the dashed line indicated. To locate mounting screw holes, position paper template on mounting surface with trimmed edge flush with the inside surface of the door when the door is in the closed position. When the door is in the closed position, the trouble that you have is obviously applying the template to the item when you're in the closed position, to the sidewall of what you're mounting the structure to. Luckily, there are elongated holes here for adjustment. Okay. So, you know, you're going to certainly have to measure your door thickness, the placement of the door within the frame, so that you can translate those dimensions to where you're going to apply the template to the jamb or to the side of what you're installing it to. So you can get that properly positioned. The 5/32 dimension on the template is crucial that that be maintained. Moving to step 2, install push latch with latch and plunger facing the door. So you can only install this one way, regardless of the hand. This needs to come in contact with the door, the plunger and latch. Center your screws in the center of your elongated holes. Obviously mark pre-drill, then attach. And at that point, this will be attached to the sidewall of what you're mounting it to. To mount the strike, apply template to the face of latch by depressing latch and engaging number 2 slot in plunger. Okay, so apply template to the face of the latch. In the drawing in the lower left-hand corner, number 2 slot is going to sit basically. So what I'm doing here is number 2 slot has to engage with the plunger. I'm simply going to take the number 1 slot, depress that down, and get my installation hooked together like that. Now that's all one simple solid piece. What they say to do next is close door and press against template to mark proper position for screw hole B in strike. That's your screw hole B, the top one, the top hole. What's not readily apparent is that there's a little tang sticking out right here, that diamond profile. So when you push the door against that, it's going to mark that hole. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use the B hole, and screws are included. I've got a screw package here, a non-corroded version. You've got 2 long screws and 2 short screws. So use the 2 short screws, obviously, for the strike. So attach the strike to the face of the door, or to that portion of the door that it's going to make contact with. Again, the U portion is pointed towards the top. And then once you have apply screw B by centering it in elongated hole, and do the same for the A location. So put that right in the center so that you can make a micro adjustment. Once you have this located properly, the little diamond tang that's there has marked the hole for the center line of your strike. Attach the strike to the door. At that point, you can just simply remove the template. And then what should happen now is you should be able to test the unit. So what happens is this feature of the strike makes contact with the plunger. As we push that in, because this has a radius face on it, the latch is just going to slide down. Because I'm right-handed, I have to do it with my right hand. Okay, it's going to end up looking like this. So that you're latched, just like that. Then what happens is you've got your 5/32 margin maintained there, right? So as I continue to push the latch in, it's going to force the strike to depress. Oh, I got my finger in the way. Get my finger out of the way. It forces that to depress. Okay? and then the door will, of course, open up because that's a spring-loaded plunger that's there. So that goes in. We've got it in a locked condition. And then as I depress it further, as I attempt to depress it further, it drops. Okay? I'm sorry I have my fingers in the way. As I push it in, it drops. And that's what will allow the entire unit to release. Got it right at the end. Very simple sort of mechanism. I know that these have been in existence for decades, and people will call and say, oh, I've had this medicine cabinet for 30 years. Yeah, I believe it. After you get the operation working, make sure that all your screws are tightened. Make any positions vertically. Pardon me. Make any adjustments vertically and horizontally. Once you're done, take these two brad nails, there are two brad nails, and sink them through these holes here and here. And then that will fix the position, helping eliminate the possibility of that body moving over time. Okay. Unfortunately, I've stopped making this material. There's nothing we can do about it. If you're lucky enough to find one and you need one, well, that's super awesome. Otherwise, look towards a new model, something to replace the touch latch functionality or push latch functionality. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the IVES products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the IVES number 820 F2C, or F3 for that matter, zinc or brass over steel, or any other IVES product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.